If mindset was the theme in Philippians, then steadfast hope might be the heartbeat of First Thessalonians. Imagine a young church born in the midst of chaos. Paul, Silas, and Timothy had barely planted their feet in Thessalonica when persecution forced them out. Paul had to leave behind newborn Christians in a pagan city with no New Testament, no deep roots, and no spiritual leadership. That would be enough to worry any preacher. So Paul sends Timothy back to check on them, and the report is surprisingly good. Despite the pressure, the Thessalonian church wasn't just surviving, they were thriving. And Paul's first letter is like a spiritual father writing home with relief and affection. This is likely Paul's earliest letter. It was written around AD 50 from Corinth, and you can feel the emotion in every paragraph. He encourages them, reminds them of their identity, and helps them make sense of their suffering. But more than anything, First Thessalonians is about living with the end in view. Some of the believers in Thessalonica were confused about the return of Jesus. There were whispers that maybe they missed it, or that those who have already died would somehow be left out. Their questions weren't just theological, they were emotional, urgent, and deeply personal. The second coming of Christ is mentioned in every single chapter of this letter, not as a scare tactic, but as a steadying hope. Paul reminds them and us that Jesus is coming and that it's our job to live ready, not worried. Paul doesn't want them to be uninformed about believers who have died. He says, we do not grieve as those who have no hope. Why? Because Jesus is coming again. The dead in Christ will rise first, and we who remain will meet the Lord in the air. That's not fear, that's fuel. Paul also addresses how they should live in the meantime, with holiness, with sexual purity, with brotherly love, and respect for spiritual leadership. He gives short, practical bursts of instruction. Rejoice always, pray without ceasing, and give thanks in all things. In a world that's constantly shifting, Paul reminds them and us to be stable, hopeful, and ready. So read 1 Thessalonians. Stay faithful even when life gets hard. Let hope shape your attitude and your actions. Encourage others with the truth that Jesus is coming back. And as always, go lift somebody up.